You guys hear that? I knew it was coming because I started having an aura. It's New Year's Eve and still under the weather. So not having my New Year's Eve party tonight. We decided about 4 or 5 days ago that wasn't going to happen when I thought I was going to expire. But I'm still here. So I've been doing some things, straightening up for New Year's Eve, because you know how it is. You know, you can't go into the new year with a dirty house. Just straightening up some things. The house is not terrible. And my hubby's been working on a project in the back kitchen, so I can't really organize the kitchen yet. It's almost like, it's like 98% finished. So I do have a few things still on the countertops, but other than that, like, the house is decent. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. I do have a little bit of laundry though that I do kind of want to finish before going into the new year, because you know you can't wash on the first day of the year. They say you wash your loved ones away. Oh gosh, all the old wives' tales. Anyway, I had a lot of flashing lights a few minutes ago, and I have a slight oral migraine happening. But this typically happens when we have weather like this. It is pouring down, raining. At first I thought I had overdone it, and I probably did, but when I looked out the window, I saw how black the sky was. Then I checked WeatherBug, and it's like, oh no, there's a 70% chance of rain. And I was like, okay. And I think maybe 10 minutes later, I heard the first thunder. Yikes. Trying to stay on track. I think this is day 7, I'm pretty sure, of the 12 days of books. I do have a book that I'm going to talk about. It's one that I actually read day before yesterday and yesterday. I finished it yesterday. That sounds right. I've been so overwhelmed with this sickness that the days have kind of gone by and I don't really know what day it is sometimes. And so trying to hang on and still bring you guys content. Anyway, I did make a video for the clock app, and it's a vertical video of me talking about the book that I did read. I don't know if I mentioned it here in the last video or not, but what you're getting is my real-time review of the book, and there may be some spoilers, and if there are, I'm sorry. If you decide you want to read this book, you may not want to watch the entire video, or you may want to. I don't think I spoil it too much, but I know if I read it after watching my video, I might feel like it might be spoiled a little bit. Anyway, it's yes, there's a tornado warning. So yeah, it's New Year's Eve. Of course there's a tornado warning. As I was saying, the book is A Sense of an Ending. Wow, if you think about that, that sounds a little weird considering the tornado warning, right? But that's what the book was. I'm gonna just show you the video that I posted on the clock app, and then I'm probably gonna call it an evening. I mean, we're just gonna settle in and try to get through New Year's Eve and pray that our house is still standing on the other side. It's A Sense of an Ending. It's the last book that I've read for the year, because I don't think I'm gonna get anything else read by tonight. Maybe though, because clearly we're not going anywhere and no one's coming here, and who knows now. I might still be able to read a really short book before the new year, but I'm not pressed to do that. So 28 books for 25. I said 25 for 24 was my goal. I went 3 over. I'm very happy. And this was the last one, and this is my review immediately after reading that book. Hope you enjoy it. Guess who decided to get sick on Christmas? That's when it started, and obviously I'm not 100% well yet, so I'm gonna be sick on New Year's Eve too. No New Year's Eve party for us. So pretty much all I've been doing for the last 6 days. Well, the worst really hit about 3 days ago. I was fighting it off for the first 2 days. I thought I was winning. Boy, was I wrong. That third day, whoo, Lord. I was like, is this the end? When I tell you I had the crud, I had the crud. So since I've been here with nothing much to do, I've been watching lots of YouTube videos. I've also been watching Virgin River. I watched the 6th season, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna start this bad boy all over again. I have nothing but time. So I started over from season 1, because that is my official comfort show. And I'm now on season 4. Ooh, spoiler alert. That's the season where Charmaine tells Jack that the twins aren't his. That's where that never gets. But also while I've been down, I decided to read a book. This is Julian Barnes, The Sense of an Ending. And since I have nothing but time on my hands, and now that I can actually really talk again, I thought I'd tell you guys about it because it's actually a good read. It's kind of giving Dark Academia meets Baby Reindeer. There is nothing about Baby Reindeer in this book. It's just the main character. Kind of reminds me of the main character in Baby Reindeer. And the main woman character, she kind of also reminds me of the woman character in Baby Reindeer. But not really. It's set in England. Our character, Tony Webster, is in prep school. He's getting ready to graduate. It's the last year. He has a friend group. There's 3 of them. They add another friend named Adrian. Okay? Adrian is okay, but he's a little quirky, but very smart. So they become friends. Well, then they graduate, they go to college, and everybody's doing their own thing. Tony meets Veronica, and that's his girlfriend in college. And he feels the whole time that they're together like she's very manipulative, right? Maybe she is, maybe she isn't. But he talks a lot about memory, and they talk a lot about history, and they talk about how history, is very much up for interpretation depending on who's telling the story. One line that sticks out to me in the book is when Tony says something to the effect of history being the lies of the victors, and then his instructor saying, or could it be the self-delusions of the defeated? Now, for me, that just brings up all kinds of questions. So moving right along. Tony's with Veronica. They go to meet Veronica's parents. Something's weird about that. Veronica's mom pulls Tony to the side and is like, hey, don't let her get away with nothing. I don't know what that meant. Tony wants to be intimate with Veronica. Veronica's withholding. She gets a little bit close, but then she's like, nah. And then eventually they break up. And after they break up, then she's like, oh, hey, let's be intimate. And so they are. And then that's it. Or so Tony thought. But then later, Tony finds out that Adrian and Veronica are a thing. So some stuff happens. I'm not going to tell too much because I'm giving away spoilers by doing that. But some stuff happens. And then, according to Tony, he lives his life, gets married, has a kid. 50 years pass. And he's like, okay, well, that was that, right? But that wasn't that. One day, Tony receives a letter in the mail that says that he got an inheritance. And with this inheritance, Veronica comes back into his life. I think that's a good way of telling you about it without giving it away. But Veronica comes back into his life. And all along while I'm reading this book, I'm like, can somebody tell me what's wrong with Veronica? Because I need to know. Because why would her mom say that? And that was kind of messed up that she ended up with his best friend, right? Anyway, Veronica comes back into his life. His ex-wife is still his confidant. She's like, look, I would leave Crazy alone. He ain't leave Crazy alone. He was like, no, I got to see this through. Very much Baby Reindeer, in my opinion. So he sees it through. He meets with Veronica. She's real sketchy. Got him meeting her in sketchy places. So he meets her, and she does things like, hey, get in the car. He gets in the car. They drive somewhere. They see some folks. She talks to the folks. She gets back in the car, drives off, and drops him off. And then he's like, well, how can I make amends? What can I do? Blah, blah, blah. Because somehow he's turned all this on himself. And she's like, you don't get it. You'll never get it. You don't get it. You'll never get it. And that's what she keeps saying. That part was a little frustrating, but you know what? I was in it till the end because this book had me. It really did. Because the prose, luscious, okay? The literary references, I need to read more poetry, apparently. There's a lot going on in here that my little nerdy antennas were just beeping, beep, beep, beep. But at the end of the day, I was trying to get through the story because I wanted to know what was going to happen. So it was a good book. I enjoyed it. Eventually, we figured out what message Veronica was trying to send, which is totally messed up. Totally messed up. That whole thing is totally messed up. In essence, Tony cursed Veronica. And, he didn't mean to. He, wrote a letter basically telling them how he felt about them being together, and he cursed them. That might even be a spoiler, though, if you read the book. Well, spoiler alert. In the end, we find out what happened. It's a tragic story to a certain extent, but also a cautionary tale. For sure. And it teaches us, if nothing else, that your memory may not be as reliable as you think it is. I actually gave it 4 stars. It would have gotten 5, but I never found out what was wrong with Veronica. So first off, Happy New Year. We're in real time now. Happy New Year, guys. It is the morning of January 1st, 2025. We made it, y'all. I hope you enjoyed that review. Today's review is coming We're a day behind. I just wanted to pop in and say that I really did enjoy the sense of an ending. And I think with a closer reading, it may be possible to maybe decipher what was going on between Veronica and her mom. But honestly, in just the first reading, my first impression, my first go round with this book, without diving deeper, without going into some of the literature that's referenced in the book, some of the poetry that's referenced in the book, I really don't know what happened to Veronica, what was wrong with her. We were being cautioned all throughout the whole book that something may have happened to her or was going on with her, and maybe it was the mom. I don't know. But having said all that, we never really find out what happens to her. But what does happen, when I tell you it's totally worth the read, it's pretty shocking for all parties involved. And it was a turn that I was not expecting. Not at all. So hopefully that's giving you enough without giving you too much. If you're interested in this book, I recommend it. I highly do. Like I said, though, I don't always need for a book to wrap up in a neat little bow. That's not always necessary, but you got to give me something, though. You have to give me something when you introduce a concept and you make that concept pretty prevalent in the narrative, and then it's not spelled out. At one point, Veronica was being so vague, as I said in the video. She was saying, you just don't understand, you'll never understand. And it's almost like Julian Barnes was saying the same thing to the reader. Like, you don't understand, you'll never understand. If you don't figure it out on your own, I don't know what to tell you. And I need for my authors to not do that, okay? As always, I'm very willing to admit that maybe I'm not worldly enough or intelligent enough, or maybe I don't have enough experience in certain areas to understand certain things, but I'm pretty sharp. Okay. And there was one part in the book where a cryptic message was sent to Tony. And I'll be very honest, I did not go deep into deciphering it because it was formulas and math. And we only math when we're counting money. Just kidding. But that is something that if it continues to bother me, I may do a deeper dive into. And if I do, I'll let you guys know. Also, I could read more reviews and watch more takes on this book as well to see what other people think. But just as a surface level book, just as a fiction offering, it was very rich. The prose were very rich. There was a lot of things that I underlined, a lot of sentiments that made a lot of sense and were aha moments. So for that, it was definitely worth the 4 stars for me. All right, you guys, have a happy new year. It is New Year's Day. I'm going to get up now and figure out what we're going to do today, if at all, if very much at all. Definitely going to be working in my planner. And the plan is to bring you some bookish content by the end of the day so that we will be, I think, on book 8 for the year. Bear with me, y'all. I'm going to get it together. All right, I'll see you soon.